Nice shirt, Mike.
It is nice.
I got another surprise for you for next month.
Okay.
So you got to be on top of that.
Well, I'll wear one of these next show too. How's that sound?
Well, next show will be in November.
It'll be just after Halloween.
Yeah, just after Halloween. So you can wear that one. You have to wear that one all week.
Okay.
Well, not that one because I got you two of them. So you're going to have to wear that one all week.
Wear this one all this week and the next one all next week.
Well, you don't have a. It's not.
Or wear the same one for 2 weeks.
You're not getting. I'm not telling you what you're getting next week.
Okay.
All right. That'll be a surprise for everyone involved.
Okay.
For something special. The unit is self-contained with its own saddler, farrier, wheelwright, and so on. It's a rigorous training dished on who know all there is to know about horses, and it brings results.
We take you behind the scenes now to show just some of the interesting aspects of this training.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine, the #1 award-winning podcast to create sounder horses from the ground up. Mike Stine is a registered journeyman farrier with an APF1 accreditation. On this week's show, we have a couple case studies we're going to dive into. We're going to talk about a horse named Dingo. Also, if you're not on YouTube, jump on right now because we have a bunch of x-rays on a horse named William, and we're going to discuss an upcoming event in November from the South Carolina Horse Council. And over to my far inside is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good, Travis. How are you?
And don't forget, joining us on this week's show is going to be Dr. Megan Radkin. She'll be on here in just 1 sec, so stick around for that as well. I'm doing well, Mike. Thank you very much for asking. You look good. You look good over there in that T-shirt.
I do, don't I?
Has any of your clients or anything said anything about your new T-shirt?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
This is the first day out of the wash.
We're breaking it out, and I'm going to wear the same T-shirt all week.
All right.
Because it's Halloween, right?
Yeah, it is Halloween. So stand up.
At the end of the week, I'll smell like Halloween.
Stand up a little bit so everyone can see that shirt. There he goes. It's got a little pumpkin on it and a horseshoe.
You can see my belly poking out.
It's got a pumpkin on it and a full moon in the background, a couple bats flying around. It's got a horseshoe with one half of the horseshoe with a microphone on it, and it says Equine Dynamics Mike Stine. That's his Halloween shirt that we got him here at the studio. So he'll wear that with pride.
I am proud.
Yeah. One thing I want to tell you about being proud right now is the on-off switch that my wife has for the show coming up. She's got a championship show coming up here in Thursday. Mike, what are you doing over there?
I'm getting entangled in cords.
Oh, Jesus.
There we go. We're undone.
Are you done? Can you still hear everyone?
I can still hear.
All right.
Hadn't ripped anything out of the wall or anything, but I'm working on it.
So my wife has a championship horse riding show this Thursday coming up. So the last 2 weeks, we've been talking about, actually 3 weeks, I've been telling you about Diego. Diego's the show horse that's going off there, that he's had some tenderness in his stifles.
Right.
And so my wife's like, it's growing pains, it's this, it's that, let's stretch him out, let's do this. She's had people come out and do body work on him, and she's gone out there.
Pixie dust and the whole bit.
Yeah, the whole entire thing. So this past Friday, she ride. Actually, I take that back. Let's say last Monday, because it's been a week cycle now. Last Monday, she went out and rode, and I'm like, well, how's Diego? And she was almost like bawling down in tears, saying, he's not there. He's not getting there. The stress and everything that she was getting on, she was worried that...
Well, according to Brett, he was doing real good the other day.
Well, this is the other day. I'm talking last Monday. So... she's saying that, I don't know if it's a soreness, and riding him, is that going to promote more soreness, which could lead to an injury? So she doesn't know. She's on that fine line as far as the boundary of, should she keep pushing the horse, or to work through this, to stretch him out type deal, or should she back off and let him heal naturally and forego the whole show, the show that she's been practicing for the last, 4 or 5 months now.
Well, financially, you'd be better off if she forgoed the show, but then you'd have to live with it.
Yes, I know. Emotionally, I would have to live with it.
That's right. And now, it's all Travis's fault.
It is. And so her next lesson, which is Wednesday, she rides Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Next lesson, she's like, he's okay. He's not the 100%. Friday, she goes and rides. And I'm sitting here. I'm like, when she did the Wednesday show, I said, how many more lessons do you have before the show, before you completely call this thing off? She's like, I got 3 more lessons. I said, on lesson number, 2 before the show, make that decision, if you're going to ride or not. So she rides on Friday. And Friday, she comes home and I go, how was your ride? She goes, he was so good. He was so good. And I said, so what did you do different? What did you, what changed? She said, well, normally I take Diego out of the stall and I put that beamer blanket on him, that infrared blanket that kind of heats you up and warms you up and gets your everything
Causes all the nuclear fission reactions and all that.
Right, nuclear power. There's steam coming off of it. Now, we do broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town called Marshville. So the weather here has changed a little bit. You know, when she goes out there in the morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's usually about anywhere from 55 to 58, you know, the mid 50s out there.
And we're getting cold.
It's cool out there, especially if you're a horse and you don't have much hair on you. And she put the beamer blanket on.
And our friends up in Michigan are laughing at us.
I know, they're like going,
really?
Foolish. So she put those 4-inch foam blocks underneath the back of Diego.
Right.
So for him to stand on it. Have you seen those before?
Oh, they had the blocks out when I went by there to check horses before the show the other day.
So he's standing on the back, you know, with his two back legs with the beamer jacket on, and my wife's filming him. And if you're watching this on the YouTube video, every podcast we do has a matching YouTube video over on Equine Dynamics, Mike Stine over on YouTube. Check us out over there. Diego's doing this. And he's rocking back and forth. His butt is rocking back and forth on the foam blocks. And he would sit there and rock a little bit more to the right and then a little bit to the left and then rock and what he was doing was he was personally figuring it out himself where the pain was. I say this like I'm some kind of horse whisperer.
You can whisper things to horses.
But he looked like he was trying to stretch those stifles out before, you know, he does his ride for the day. And he rode so good on Friday. She went on Saturday. She clipped him. She did all the babying stuff, get him ready for the show and whatnot. She rode this morning. I haven't got the verdict of how
I'm leaving before she gets here.
I haven't got the verdict from today as far as him riding or her riding him. So we'll see. So it's one of those, I hate everything. Everything's good. Everything's awful. Everything's good.
Well, you know, we changed a few things, and movement-wise, he has been stronger, but it's going to take him a little bit to adapt. But where we were going before we made the changes, according to what Brett was saying, was
the trainer
was not that he is happier now. Amy may not be, but the horse is.
Well, as long as someone's happy, that's all I care about.
As long as the horse is happy and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And the rest of it, well, that's your deal.
Well, you guys are going to be happy because on today's show, returning to the show, we have Dr. Megan Radkin that's going to join us here. And she's brought some x-rays. And so we're going to look at all of them. We're going to talk about them. And Mike and her are going to do a clinic here coming up. And we'll give you all the details on all this information here on Equine Dynamics with Mike Science. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Greetings. This is Julia Fisher, Secretary of the South Carolina Horse Council, reaching out to urge you to join your South Carolina State Horse Council. The South Carolina Horse Council is the only statewide, all-volunteer, 501c3 organization that works for the benefit of the equine industry in South Carolina. Our mission is to connect, communicate, and educate. The South Carolina Horse Council represents all breeds, riding styles, and activity preferences. The council works to serve the horse community in a myriad of ways. For example, we help to educate our members, our elected officials, and the general public about the benefits of equestrian activities. South Carolina Horse Council holds clinics throughout the state on topics such as horsemanship, pasture management, equine nutrition, lameness, trailer safety, and barn management. Are you a member yet? Visit schorsecouncil.com.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stein. Don't forget, you can be part of the show. The way you can join the show is go to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page says, join the podcast. Click on that little link there, and you'll see a big orange bar at the very top of the screen. Says, leave a message for Mike Stein. Your voice can be played right alongside of us here in the podcast. We'll play it on the very next podcast as well. And leave a voice message. You can be anonymous if you want. If you want to ask Mike something, we'll play your voice right here on the air, and we'll answer your question on the air as well. Just go to equinedynamics.com and click join the podcast. And over to my far hand side is Mike Stein. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing all right. And joining us this week, again, is Dr. Megan Radkin. How are you? And thanks for joining us.
Doing good. How about you guys?
Doing all right. So we brought you on because you and Mike are doing a clinic here in the next 2 weeks or so, November 9th, over at the South Carolina Horse Council.
Yep. That's
Okay,
correct.
we'll dive into all that here, but you brought us a whole bunch of little goodies and stuff. Now, don't forget for our podcast, we have a matching video over on YouTube as well. Check us out over there. That is Mike Stine, Equine Dynamics Mike Stine over on YouTube. Give him a like and subscribe over there and show him some love. But we have some pictures of a horse named Diego. I'm sorry, not Diego. Sorry, that's my horse. That's my horse. Sorry, a horse named Dingo. So we're going to talk about Dingo here. And so I'm going to pull up this picture right here. And so what are we looking at as far as, let me figure out which one I'm doing here. What are we looking at here, guys, when we're talking about this horse named Dingo?
Well, that is not a real good looking frog.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. And I sent that back to Meg, and we had worked on the horse. He's been a bit of an issue because, I mean, you spit near his foot, he gets sore. The hoof quality is not good. And he's a relatively young horse. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, he's so tenderfooted to everything that kind of thought, well, we need to take a look at how much sole depth we've got. And with what we did, he grew a lot of foot. We ended up, because of the hoof walls, ended up using some casting material because structurally they just won't hold on to anything. We didn't really want to glue the hoof walls because of the quality and the condition of the hoof walls. And
now, was this a working horse riding like this? Or is this the first, let's put it this way, is this the first time you've seen this horse?
No. I've seen this horse a couple times. And I had glued some shoes on him, which worked okay until we got rain, and then they decided they didn't want to be there because the foot sucked up water. And but it's incredibly how little it takes to make this guy sore from anything. And so I said, well, we need some backup on this. So I called Megan, and that foot's not real pretty, but he grew. We ended up going with a rocker rail and some did throw some casting over it, then filled in with the Equipack rubber. So I had a support under it, and most I've ever seen this guy grow, because most of the time it's like he grows nothing, and he grew a considerable amount of foot in a short time. But the problem was when we took everything apart, this is what we came up with casting. And I've not really seen that, and I mean, you just touched it and it started bleeding, so it's like that, and the smell of it, I'm like, that's kind of looking a bit like canker. And
yeah, that hoof looks disgusting. I'm sorry.
So we were looking at it, and I ended up wrapping it up and putting a big towel under it, and vet wrapping it on there with him standing on it just to stop the bleeding. And all I did was try to pick some stuff out. I didn't even cut anything, and he's bleeding all over the place.
So Megan took some pictures here,
right? These are her X-rays from before, and I sent this picture to Megan because I'm like, it's suspicious, and she needs to take a look at it since she's the attending vet on the deal.
Now, Megan, explain how you approach this and what we're looking at here.
Well, this was his better foot, the right front. I mean, it's pretty low angle-wise, but it, had pretty decent sole depth, and wasn't terrible looking. It was definitely not the best quality, which you can't really tell from the X-ray. But, like Mike was saying, the wall was pretty weak. And then the left front was definitely some thin sole.
Those are not the left front. There we go. There's the left front.
I don't know how that came in there.
Weird things where
there's almost a little bit of a track off the tip of that coffin bone.
Well, and I think that was the wall peeling up.
Right, I think so.
Now, Mike, on the left front here, and Megan, on the left front here, is this the paste that you put on there so you can eliminate that, what do you call it, a washout or something when you take the X-ray?
Yeah. If you see, it looks like the paste is almost sitting a little off the foot. That's where that little area burns out. So this way you can get accurate measurements.
Yeah. Yep.
So
which foot was it that had the frog problem?
The low slung, the right front.
Oh, okay.
The left side was not great, but this is the one that had the real ugly frog when it came out from under that. And you and me have both rubbered up feet, padded feet, everything else under the sun, and this was like 5 or 6 weeks in, pulled that off, and you don't typically get frogs that look like that, like never, no. And here we are, so it's like, this is suspicious. And
Well, we were wondering if maybe it was having some issue, some canker or something before we even cast him, and we just didn't.
it was just underlying and it was buried in there.
Yeah,
But that might explain some of the hoof quality problems
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
and some of the tenderness.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
So how is Dingo now?
Well, Dingo, the last time I saw him, we cleaned up what we could. Problem was he is just so sore anywhere you touch his foot. So what ended up is I took some commercial felt, 1/2-inch commercial felt, and did the good old fashioned sugar dyeing and wrapped them up, and they're supposed to change wraps, and we're trying to do something just to make sure we have a chance to treat the foot. And I'm going to see the horse again here in another week or so, and by tomorrow I'll get where I can talk.
Now, Megan, do you normally put that cream or that paste on the horse's hoof, or did you do it because you knew that Mike and I were talking about it? Why isn't this done all the time? Is this a normal practice for you to put that cream on the hoofs to eliminate that fade out there or the washout?
Yeah, for the most part. If it's like a totally normal hoof, totally normal horse with no issues, and I'm just evaluating, the shoeing that it has, then I probably wouldn't. But if it has any other problems, or especially a laminitis potentially, then I definitely do it.
Now, are you finding people in your field that aren't using, because that's my biggest thing, Megan, I don't know if you listen to the show or not. That's my biggest thing. Why aren't they, if you're already shooting the hoof, why aren't you putting this paste on that foot?
I don't know. It takes extra couple seconds, I guess.
Someone doesn't want to get
on and to wipe it back off.
Someone doesn't want to get their little their precious nails all muddied up with that.
They don't. I'm that way. You've seen my nails, how beautiful they are.
Looks like you chewed them off.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason. And she sent me a picture. The owner sent me a picture yesterday.
Okay.
And I've been meaning to talk to you, but it looks a little better.
Good.
So I think that's good. It's hopeful.
Well, good. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to take a quick little break. And when we come back, we also have another case study of a horse named William. Totally different scenario. X-rays involved. Everyone needs to jump on YouTube and go to equinedynamics.com and let us know what's going on with you. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back.
Greetings again from the South Carolina Horse Council. Our horse welfare programs offer small grants to equine owners who are struggling financially for specific veterinary bills. First, our Stallions to Geldings funding acknowledges the benefits of gelding your animal, and once the application is attested to by the vet and approved, it provides direct payments to your vet for gelding services. This is an important resource and has been able to assure that hundreds of equines in the state, horses, donkeys, and mules, have received quality care. Our euthanasia program helps with final arrangements for those owners who may be struggling with end-of-life arrangements for their equine partners and lack adequate resources. Funds do not cover disposal, but once approved, can provide direct-to-the-vet payments for managing euthanasia expenses. Are you a member yet? Visit schorsecouncil.com.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. If you have a question for Mike Stine, you can be anonymous if you want. The way you do that is go over to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page says contact us. If you don't want to leave a voice message and you're like, I don't like the sound of my voice, that's fine. You can do that. I don't know why she sounded like an old lady, but if you don't like the sound of your voice.
You sound like an old lady more than you think.
I know. And if you want to leave a message for Mike Stine, the way you do that is to go over to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page says contacts. Fill out that little form. Put your question in there. Make sure you put a physical return address, and we have some new magnets, some stickers, some keychains for this season. So make sure you go over there and put your full physical address on there, and it's just our way of saying thank you for being part of the show. And over to my far hand side part of the show is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good, and how are you, Megan?
Doing good. How about y'all?
Doing all right. And
we're going to bring some brains to the show today. We're bringing Megan in.
And joining us this week on this show is Dr. Megan Radkin. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So we are going to talk about a case study that Mike has dived into with some x-rays that Megan did not take, just to clarify. And we're talking about a club-footed horse by a horse named William. Is that right?
Right. And it's a good discussion because, Megan's not seen this horse. It's new eyes laid on the situation.
Okay.
And going through a few things with him, we're trying to figure out and second guessing myself on a few things. And it's always good to have a sounding board. And she's got the background and knowledge to be a good sounding board.
All right, Megan, we're going to put these pictures up. I want you to tell me exactly what you first see when you see these pictures, what's wrong with the horse. So here we go. This is Williams. I guess it's the front shot. Let's go this way. How's that look? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So Megan, what are we looking at here?
So this is a head-on view. And let's see. Left front. The L is on the outside of the foot. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's a little bit pinched on the outside, the joint between the coffin bone and, yep, right there. Yeah. But otherwise, it doesn't seem to be too bad.
Now,
Mike, what is your physical? You've seen this physical horse.
I've worked on him a few times, and he was on that left front was a pretty hard negative angle first time I saw him. And on that leg, he's got some tendon damage on the deep flexure, but it ultrasounds just above the knee. And he can't quite straighten that knee out. And I question some arthritic changes in the front of the knee because it's kind of puffy. But, you know, in putting a wedge on this guy, the back of his foot's so unstable, it crushed it. And but he was at such a negative angle, we needed to do something to bring him up. So I chose to go with a rocker format on him.
All right, and we have more X-rays here. So we're looking at still the same left
lateral.
foot. Yep. And look at the rocker on that thing. It's like I said, a frisbee last time.
Right. And some of the question is in the front of that coffin joint, because at this point, some of the input is we need to lower his angle back down because the knee's unstable. But then you're putting the foot in a bind, and also if you can look up at the front edge of that coffin joint, is there a question? Is there any? Do you see any reason at the front edge of possible some ring bone, any arthritic changes up there?
Now, Megan, do you see any?
Or we're going to put that in a bind by lowering the angle.
Now, Megan, do you see anything sticking out that catches your eye on this image here?
I mean, maybe a little bit at the front of the coffin joint. It's kind of hard to tell. I guess I would want more views.
Right. Yeah, if you did a couple obliques and that sort of deal. And I've got one of those rubber wedge inserts on the back.
Yeah.
Is that this right here?
Right.
That big cheese wedge?
Because if you did, if you rockered it into the foot that far, he kind of wanted, it was hard not to want him to roll back on you. And then with that cushy wedge in there, it's kind of saving the back of the foot from being demolished. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it was real hard to get him not to want to tip backwards.
Okay.
And and this is also the leg, or that is also the leg that has the tendon damage above the knee and the knee that won't straighten out. And the problem now is when he loads that, he's gotten where he is a little shaky on the knee.
So this is the other. Is this the other foot?
This is the other foot. That foot, I took everything off and completely redid the other day.
Is there something between the shoe and the foot on this one?
Oh yeah,
I can't tell.
It looks like a comforter, like a quilt or a comforter under there.
he's got rubber in there, and it's kind of a crazy deal because he lands. This is the club foot, extremely outside, and then he rocks in. And it's like that knee would, and this is on the right side. It's like his knee at that certain point would flex inward towards the towards the center line, and he would bounce right off of it. And so I started playing with a wedge. So what I've got in there is, we always had leathers on him. He came to me, he had leathers on him, so we're keeping leathers on him. He's got sole pack filled in on both sides. So I took a Curtis Hamilton #2 wedge, and I spun it about a 45. And I've got it inserted. It's probably a little more of an angle than a 45, but inserted from the outside towards the end. The center, or excuse me, I got that backwards, from the center, from the inside towards the outside. So it's got a wedge that is close to sideways on there, but when he lands on it, it stabilizes. It's enough to stabilize the knee, because that knee was starting to blow up on us, and And I know this is not normal shoe and a normal alignment or anything, but at this point with this guy, we're trying to keep him where he can walk.
Now, as far as X-rays go, Megan, do you agree with the way this X-ray was taken? I mean, outside of the way the paste, I always say put the paste on there, no matter what, put it on there.
Yeah, no, it's a good X-ray. So you're saying that either the medial side is wedged up more than the lateral side?
Yeah, the medial side is wedged up more than the lateral side.
That's interesting because you can still just see the wings of the coffin bone are superimposed. So
right, yeah.
You made him level, basically.
Well, you're familiar with those Curtis Hamilton number 2 wedges, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
They have number 1s, number 2s, number 3s, and some of the old saddle horse guys used to like those deals. They're gray. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, that you've got fuller thickness on the outside, and you can see it tapers towards the front. So it's not that much wedge forward, but it's more wedge sideways.
Okay.
And there he seems to be pretty happy on that leg. Now you go look at it, and it's like, oh, what the crap? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like he's just a multitude, and the lady who owns him goes to all kinds of extremes to keep this guy happy. He wasn't completely happy on that foot, so I went by in between the cycle and popped it off. We had a little bit of problems. That barn is very busy. He was fidgety the last time I did him, so my positioning was not quite where I wanted it to be, so I just took it off and did a complete new package and went back on him a few days ago, and we took him out and walked him again. He seems to be happier on it. And I think that on the diagonal wedge kind of deal, I backed it off a little bit on the second package.
Okay.
So
very interesting. Whatever works to make him happy, and
right.
The X-ray looks great.
But my dilemma at this point is on the other foot, on the left. Okay, if we lower the angle, the thought is maybe his knee will stabilize a little more, but he's got flexor tendon damage. So are we adding too much strain on the flexor tendon damage? And at one point he was fairly inflamed. Of course, he was negative. When I first ran into this guy, he was negative about 3 or 4 degrees in that hoof pass on the palmar angle. So he was pretty sore up there in the front of that coffin joint, and we don't want to put him in a position where he's sore in front of the coffin joint. So that's my dilemma with this guy.
Huh. How does he feel about that setup that you have it right now?
Well, he had been real happy with that until recently. And, he sounded this way. The problem is coming downhill, like going downgrades. And that knee doesn't want to stabilize. So he didn't particularly like a flat shoe job because he was just out and out lame there.
Okay.
So, you're looking for perfection, and we've got, I hate to say it, he's a sweet horse, but a bit of a train wreck to work with.
Right.
Kind of like me.
Yeah.
What about a flat shoe with that buttress wedge?
Well, that we can give that a run. It's anything like that is we can give it a run and then back up and punt if it doesn't work, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's worth a shot for sure. But he beats up the back of that heel pretty hard on that side, no matter what you do. And the buttress, that soft buttress wedge, has been the most forgiving thing I've done on the back of that foot. And kind of hate to just throw it out the window because we're worried about the knee position.
Definitely, yeah.
So
I agree.
So William's up and running,
right?
And he's doing well.
Yeah, he's a happy fella.
Oh, good. All right, we're going to take a quick little break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to all be happy fellas here because we're going to talk about Mike and Megan going out and doing a clinic out at the South Carolina Horse Council, and we'll dive into all those when we come back. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back.
Here at the South Carolina Horse Council, our membership dues are affordably priced for individuals, families, farms, and businesses. Lifetime membership options mean you'll never have to worry about missing that annual renewal deadline to remain in good standing. Membership in the South Carolina Horse Council offers a number of important benefits. The council offers $1 million worth of personal excess liability insurance at an affordable group rate to all of our members, whether you're a resident of the state of South Carolina or not. We have have compiled a trails booklet with all public trails listed and mapped within the state, available to new members for free or upon request for the cost of the postage. Our website provides updates for emergency preparedness on evacuation sites for equines in the event of hurricanes, floods, or other natural disasters. Visit schorsecouncil.com.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video over on YouTube. Search Equine Dynamics Mike Stine and give us a little like, little thumbs up, a little share over there. And on Facebook as well. If you're on social contacts and all that, Mike's also on TikTok. He's doing all the social medias out there. So all you have to do is search Equine Dynamics Mike Stine, right?
That's it.
And over to my far end side is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, Travis?
Doing all right. And joining us this week is Dr. Megan Radkin. Thank you very much again for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So you guys, you and Mike and you are going to go down to South Carolina.
Right.
And you're going to the South Carolina Horse Council, and you're performing a clinic out at that location. So it's this November 9th, which is a Saturday. And it's $15 for non-members, and it's free for all South Carolina Horse Council members, which is great. If you don't know what South Carolina Horse Council is, you hear their ads during the show here. They're a great organization, not only if you live in South Carolina, but if you live all over the United States. So they'll take everyone in, and especially during those hurricanes and people have equines up there in the Tennessee, North Carolina area, they can help you get involved and get to the right people to help if you want to donate your time, your money, or your efforts, or anything like that. You can get through them as well, and you can call Julie over there.
Call Julia, yes. Yes, on the hurricane, I was speaking with Nicole. They're hauling more vet supplies up, and I put her in touch with one of the vets I know up there in the mountains, and trying to get some more gear up there for people to deal with animals with problems.
So this coming Saturday, November 9th, you're our Equine Footwork seminar, everything you wanted to know about footwork, and it's going to star Mike Stine and also Dr. Megan Radkin. So I'm going to, what are you guys going to be talking about for the most part in your showcase during your clinics? Megan?
I'll be talking about venograms, so the contrast study to check the blood flow of the horse's hoof, and its usefulness in situations where it would be good to have.
Are you going to actually bring the machine out to show the people what a venogram machine looks like? Because it
looks like an X-ray unit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I know what an X-ray unit looks like, but I mean, as far as like demonstrating, okay, this is how you should line up for a venogram. Because again, Mike and I have had this discussion back and forth. Mike says time and time again, you're only as good as your X-rays. So if you have bad X-rays, like you were talking about the lateral on the one horse on William, because you saw the wings on the back of you were like going, well, how was that shot? Because that looks, like this. And so it's those little things that you need to make sure that you're capturing, not just the main part of the job, but the whole entire job in itself. Are you going to bring the machine out and kind of show people, all right, this is what you should be looking for when your person comes out and does it?
I'll have pictures of it, and
you don't want to drag that thing out there.
Techniques. Yeah, but no, I wasn't planning on bringing the machine out. But I have a lot of images.
Great, and Mike,
I'm there.
Your clinic's going to work and coincide with Megan's clinic as far as like the footwear and foot care and foot work.
Right, and basically what I'm talking about is my general gist of how to take a look at the horse in the field and figure out how we should be thinking, and hopefully get somewhere close some days.
Are you going to bring a horse out there?
No, I got a slideshow. Slideshow.
It's all the images. I want the hands-on. Hands-on effect. But you're going to bring
indoor this year, so I don't know if they would take a horse.
Well, I don't care if one goes. It's not my building.
But Mike, you'll bring Peggy.
Sometimes I do. Yes.
You're going to bring Peggy out there.
I'll probably bring a few parts and pieces. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And is there going to be punch and pie?
Maybe.
Somebody's going to get punched.
How many? I mean, are you two the only ones out there, or is it going to be like a plethora? Like, there's going to be a whole entire show, a whole entire stadium type.
We are the show, and Megan's going to be the heavy hitter out there. She's going to be the crowd drawer.
So this is your stadium tour.
Yes.
So if you,
I'm like the backup band. You know?
so if you need more information on what to do or how to get or be part of this, you go to it's schhorsecouncil.com for more information. Doors open at 9:30 p.m. Presentation starts at 10 a.m. I'm sorry, 9:30 a.m. Did I say p.m.? I think I said p.m. Doors open at 9:30 a.m. Presentation begins at 10. Lunch to follow. Please RSVP so they can plan on how many people to have for lunch. And if you need more information, here's the actual contact information that you need. It's info@schhorsecouncil.gmail.
They should have put Megan's info up top.
.com. Well, I know they got them on the flyer. No, because you're the opening act, and then you've got the heavy hitter following.
That's true.
So if you didn't miss that, it's info@schhorsecouncil.gmail or horsecouncil@gmail.com. I'll post that up on the video feed and stuff just in case you missed all that. And it's in Goodale State Park Community Building. Is that where it's at? It's overall.
That's what I was told.
Camden, South Carolina. So if you need more information, go to.
And if you go out back down the swamp, you can go pet the gators.
Nice. They got gators in South Carolina? I guess they do.
Yes,
yeah.
they've got gators around Camden.
All right. And again, that's info@southcarolinahorse.council@gmail.com for more information on Mike Stine and Dr. Megan Radkin on the Equine Footwork Seminar on November 9th, this Saturday.
Right. If it's cold enough, you can go out there and rub them on their snoot. They'll just lay there when they stick them up out of the water.
Yeah, they don't move. They don't move. I know. Being from Florida, I know. All right, guys, we got one more little segment. We'll let you get back to doing what you got to do. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back.
Hello again from your South Carolina Horse Council. Did you know that the South Carolina Horse Council invests in programs that support education and equestrian activities for the young people of our state? The council awards numerous youth scholarships annually. We sponsor the state finals event for the South Carolina 4-H equine program, and we provide full event sponsorship for the year-end South Carolina Future Farmers of America horse evaluation program. We also sponsor the South Carolina Governor's School of Agriculture equine program. Our expo periodically brings education and entertainment to equine enthusiasts of all disciplines. Is law enforcement in your area educated on the special needs of equines? The South Carolina Animal Control Officer Seminar helps familiarize law enforcement and animal control officers with proper care of horses to better identify and investigate cases of neglect or abuse. For more information, visit schhorsecouncil.com.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. If you'd like to be part of the show, the way you do that is go to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page says, join the podcast. There's a little orange bar at the very top of there. It says, leave a message for Mike Stine. If you have a question for Mike Stine, you can speak right into your device. Your voice can be heard right here alongside of ours during this podcast. And you can ask Mike Stine any questions that you want, or you can just give him all the accolades that you want. Or if you have any questions, if you are interested in being a guest on the show, you can do that over there as well. That's equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page says join the podcast. And joining us here this week is Dr. Megan Radkin. How are you?
Good about y'all.
Doing good, doing good.
And that is Mike Stine over there. So what did we learn today, Dr. Megan Radkin? We talked about Dingo and the x-rays that you actually took for Dingo.
Yeah, he may be dealing with a little bit of canker, but it seems to be getting better. And positive is that he grew a lot of foot with what we put him in.
Mike?
Yes, definitely. And that may explain some of the soreness from everything and the hoof wall quality, I'm thinking.
Yep, I agree.
And
also, x-rays not taken by Megan of a horse named William that Mike was brought out to deal with, and with a situation of a club foot that was rolling on the inside.
Yeah, just having Megan back me up and some thinking on some stumbling blocks I've been going through with him, and get her opinion, and which is always warranted and well welcomed and everything else. So you take it away, Megan.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're doing looks good. I agree with just trying to keep him stable.
The way he attacked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on that left front, we're going to have to do some adjusting because he's not quite where I want him to be. But then the question is, are we hurting him somewhere else?
Right. Yeah.
And if you'd like to see both these pretty faces in person, you can go to the South Carolina Horse Council clinic coming up, which is the Equine Footwork Seminar this November 9th on Saturday, starting at 9:30 a.m. and doors open at 9:30 a.m. and show starts at 10. Please RSVP. It's $15 for non-members, but if you're a member of the Horse Council, which is a great association to be part of, so they give a whole bunch of different, there's a whole bunch of additives and advantages to being part of the Horse Council over there.
Right.
So join them, and they put on these events, and they're free for those members. And that's, go ahead, Mike.
Everybody understands when you're talking about pretty faces, you're talking about yours and Megan's, right?
No, I'm talking about Mike and Megan can go out there. You can see them, shake their hands, and they'll sign your babies or something like that.
Okay.
All right.
Use a Sharpie, it won't come off.
And Megan, outside of the clinic you have coming up, how can our listeners find you if they have any questions? Do you have any social medias, websites, or anything that people want to reach out and get more information from you?
Yeah, my website's horsehoofvet.com, and on Instagram and Facebook under Radkin Equine Podiatry.
Well, Megan, we appreciate you joining us this week on Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. On behalf of Mike Stine over there.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day with your ponies, and thank you, for Megan, for everything, as always. Hope to work with you more in the future.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
My name is Travis, saying see you next week. Okay. Megan, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
You know the drill. I will edit the audio, edit the video, email it to you. You can use it wherever you want. You can post it on whatever stuff. I'll take out all...